remember we were talking a while ago about the 941, that's been cleared, the big one. However, you do need to know, we had two more. We had one that was filed June 30th of 2023 and another one that was filed September 30th of 2023. Both an error on our 941 form. Uncovered it, sent it in on 941, trying to correct those 2 quarters. Hopefully it's done right, and we'll hear something on that soon. I do want to say though that big $221,000 one has been cleared. The next item I have for we got to get completed before we can finish our audit is our W-2 forms. What happened here is during last year in April and May, we didn't have anyone in the office that could run payroll. So the school jumped in and helped us do it. They paid the month of April and a portion of the month of May. And the agreement was what we were going to do is go ahead and just pay the town what we pay the school what we owed them for running our payroll. And for some unknown reason, the former treasurer entered it into our payroll as well. So even though the school and the town both use the same tax ID number, it got reported in the school's wages, got reported in the town's wages. So we're working now with the auditors to try to back off. There's about 6 employees that it affected. So we're working right now to try to get that corrected. Let me see, Maine Bond Bank. As you all know, we make a payment to the Maine Bond Bank, and the school makes a payment to the Maine Bond Bank. The last payment that was made, there was an overpayment. You couldn't consider it an overpayment. The town's payment was paid, and the town also paid the school's share. So once that was uncovered, we brought that to the school, and that was for October last year. And we just got a refund now, so we can kind of do a general journal entry, I am assuming, once we talk to Felch's office, we can get that corrected by doing a $9,950.85 general journal entry. Let me see, that's about all I got from the office. Audit update.
Okay. 3, road commissioners report.
Just curious how come we don't have it. You as well, we did the last time?
Yeah, they're different. We don't have the same agenda as yours.
Article 3 is public question and answer.
Yeah, Article 2 is accepting the minutes of our last meeting.
Okay,
Who's in charge of getting that right?
well, it's, what's his agenda look like?
I'll certainly try. Let me grab one on the.
You weren't there when you said.
This is not what she's saying, it's not.
Okay.
Is that the? Yeah. You got the same one. All right. Sorry about that.
Voter acceptance of minutes.
Yeah. So Article 2 is accepting minutes of the previous selectmen's meetings.
And we're going to push that to the next meeting.
Okay. The minutes aren't ready.
And I'd like to move public question and answer down lower on the agenda.
Okay. All right. So we'll move Article 3 down lower.
Only so that if there's any questions with what's transpiring tonight, you'll hear everything before you have to, you get the opportunity to ask any questions. We'll move it down a little further.
Okay.
Done the audit update.
So Article 4 has been done, it's over. Article 5, road commissioners report.
We have the patch box done, sitting outside if anybody wants to look at it. We're going to use it this week, but one of the trucks got on fire, so we had to work on that. Putting away winter stuff and digging up for summer stuff.
Caterpillar, and our 2014 asphalt compactor is, that's been paid off. I got the notification in the mail on that. So we've been paying that for.
I got a bill this week from them.
You got what?
I got another bill from them
Well,
this week.
I got the notice of payoff,
Okay.
so they just passed. You're all set there.
Okay. Article 6, town office report.
Well, I pretty much, I've got some stuff here in the folder.
Oh, yeah. So I got a letter here from Caribou Fire and Ambulance, and it's our annual bill for their services. And the amount is $152,125. And that was last year's, and that's the same as this year's. So that didn't go up any. And that's for their fire and ambulance service coverage. So I'm going to sign that. Okay. All right, and then Northern Lights, we got our annual drug testing paperwork. I'll let you talk on that.
Well, it's just to join a coalition for drug and alcohol testing for our truck drivers that drive any of our town vehicles. It's just to, we'll have to train our office employee. There's a couple of different dates I have to go in for training. But it's a coalition that we should belong to. We pay to belong to this, and it's very important for the community. They're driving the municipal vehicles that we have them, it's sporadic, have them drug tested. They kind of put out the drag net and they'll call in so many drivers, and it's very important to the community that we do this. So I do think that we should adopt this.
Okay. Motion? I'll make a motion. We accept the Northern Lights drug testing service.
I'll second it.
Need a second?
So who motioned, did you accept it?
I accept the motion.
I made a motion.
I accept it.
She seconded. All in favor? Motion carries. We got the rapid renewal, and that you're going to talk on the rapid renewal and
Yeah.
the information.
Yep. The rapid renewal was brought about last August. It was brought to our attention, and it didn't get looked into. So past few weeks I've been looking at the rapid renewal process, and I called the other communities that use it, rapid renewal. And the other town clerks I talked to said where it's convenient for the resident, the municipality I talked to had 1,000 residents. It's costly, and the clerk still has to do the same amount of work. They just batch it up and send it back into the town office. And in order to belong to this, it's going to cost us about $1,240 to start. It's $247 for the trio package, and we're going to lose our agent fees. Anybody that registers online, we don't get the agent fee on that. And that'll figure out for our community about $990. So I think it's something that we need to get careful deliberation to before we have a clerk in the office, and shortly we'll have a treasurer in there to help, and we're doing okay registering vehicles. I'm not sure if it's a necessary, but that's up to you. The cost will be about $1,250 to start, and we'll lose anywhere from $600 to $900 a year in agent fees.
Leave it the way it is.
Pardon?
Leave it the way it is.
Is it a one-time fee?
No, well, it's a one-time fee. There's fees to start, okay? And every year we're gonna pay the $247.50 to Trio, or whatever they charge us per year. And then it's our agent fees after that. Let me see if I can give you a little better on here. It's, in the beginning, there's fees that are one-time fees, and then after that, it's the $247.50 plus the agent fee. And I can't tell you what those fees are gonna be, it all depends on what we register.
So it's per person? the
Yes.
agent fee?
Yes.
Go ahead, Jim.
Is there a problem with what we're doing now? Doesn't seem to make that one.
Is there a problem?
Mr. Ratty. No, we're having a problem doing it now.
I think it was more of a convenience that you could register your car at home instead of going into it. That's what you give up, but. Okay. So we're gonna look into that a little bit farther, is that what we're planning on?
So we'll stop that.
Okay,
I will dispute about the revenue because we did it a year ago.
hold on, you're.
Can I get permission to speak regarding the rapid renewal?
I'll make a motion to let her speak.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, I forgot that, sorry. I worked all day today, I was only expecting to work a half day. I've been helping the office out because Bridget cannot do all this by herself. There's a lot to do, more than anyone realizes. And as far as the rapid renewal, the only reason I'm speaking up is Caribou's population is more, and they did it. But yes, there is a loss, and it costs every year to keep that going. And it's easy, it's easier, convenient for the resident. That's wonderful. I mean, we weren't against that. But we lost the fees also. But they are a bigger population, that makes a difference. Since it's smaller population here, you need to reconsider, or whatever. And that's all I'm going to say.
All right. I think that's it for Article 6. We'll move along to Article 7. We're going to open some bids on a septic system, and that's Bruce. You want to talk on that?
Well, I think the board has to open the bids. There's 2 bids.
This is Bruce Hussey. He's our CEO of the town, code enforcement officer.
This is a small community grant for one of our residents here. It's state funded, 100%, so it's no cost to the town. And there's still money available for small community grants. I heard there's a lot of them. You have to qualify.
So explain that to me, please. In this particular situation, this is going to be funded by the state,
Yes, 100%.
so the mentality to search for the lowest bid is the opposite.
I don't believe you have to bid, take the lowest bid.
This isn't a reimbursement where we pay it up front and they reimburse us after.
I think it is. $17,000 now for a septic system.
So one bid's $12,785, and that's St. Peter Construction. And the second one is $18,005, and that is J&S Construction. So
I move to accept the J&S construction bid.
the only thing I look at is this, as long as they're apples for apples, you know, this one's got a description. This one just says septic system bid,
Yeah,
doesn't give any details to the,
he's even listing the design.
Is that Dickey now?
one is Dickey and one is Jonah Hammond.
This gentleman just got done telling us that he believes the price to put one of these in is $17,000, so that would make what's written on the paper just numbers.
Yeah.
So, in order for the town to be in a situation where it can prevail this time, it might want to take caution and not go the cheapest route and not be able to fulfill its obligation and have to pay the difference.
Yeah, we don't want to get into trouble again on that, you know, 'cause yeah. And then that's close to $5,500 more.
A lot of money. We paid for it twice.
Can we get a motion?
Yes, I made a motion.
We have a second?
Is there a second?
Not yet, I'm still looking.
If I rescinded the motion and allowed someone else to look smart, would that help you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just reading.
I'm only looking at the numbers on the papers.
Yeah.
I'm going by the past practice experience, trying to get this done.
Yeah.
And I've taken advisement from our code enforcement. What else would you need to make a second?
I know both of these contractors quite well, and I know they both do quality work. So I'm looking at the dollar figures that, I know it's state funded. You know, it's not gonna be out of the town's pocket, but they're both reputable contractors. And neither of these two are the ones that did the projects before.
That is good.
So, I mean, it's not like we're going down the same rabbit hole and
So why would you pay $5,500 more?
Well, he said they cost roughly $17,500.
He says he's owned by the plans,
yeah.
as they are actual.
I guess you go out on a limb, take your handsaw and saw away. $5,000 is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
This guy, we want it funded, we want it over with. We're not going to get it done cheap. We shouldn't be looking to cut corners. Those seem to be the things that got us here. So if we would do it right for once, strike three, I don't know where you'd be, but we've already struck out twice. The town of Woodland has paid for the septic system 2 times already, without reimbursement.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think it's time to do it right.
Bruce, you're the expert on this. What is your suggestion? Okay, we got a question?
Is there, my understanding that one of those that were submitted has lesser information on it than the other, and you're questioning the details and how in-depth one contractor might be over the other?
Yeah.
Is that what's in question?
Yeah.
Is there any way that I see what you're talking about, is there any way that we could go back to the second, or the cheaper of the 2 contractors, try to get some more details so that we're better understanding of the work that they're gonna perform? And maybe that would help them make a decision.
The cheaper guy has more details. Is on there. Bruce, what is your suggestion we do with that? What would you do? You're our CEO.
Yes,
But you're asking.
but
Yeah.
that's really outside my jurisdiction. I mean, I think you look at the bids, you accept
know both of these
I've
gentlemen?
done both of those, yeah.
Never had any trouble with any of them before?
No.
Hey, Matt, it still has to be put in by code, right?
Yeah.
So, either one. The code don't change for either.
They're being installed by a set of design, by a designer, a certified designer. And he even quotes the plan, the designer by name. He looked at the schematic of the system.
The other one did too. He had a copy of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure for the bidding, instead of getting into an in-depth, big, long, drawn-out description, he made it simple, and, yeah, and I almost, my feeling is, yeah, I understand it needs to be done right, that's our main goal, but I think both these people will do equal quality work. And I almost say, if we can save the state of Maine $5,000, it would be in our best interest to save the state.
So
Granted,
will they be using, any of the old equipment from this septic system?
No.
So how can they replace this system for, how can there be almost a $6,000 spread? And I think it cost the town almost $20,000 each time we were involved.
the only thing I would see is, I know Dick lives in Caribou, and I know Joan is in Mapleton, so you're gonna get transportation differences there. I know Joan uses his own pit, all his own material clear from Mapleton, where Dick's gonna pit, right in Caribou. I can understand being closer, partially less, $6,000 less, I don't know, but
It's a lot of money.
you're right, it's a big difference.
Everything's more expensive too.
Maybe we should reach out to Joan and have him give a description, an in-depth description of what the work entails, and then, I mean, there's not a lot that Dick has written down here, but it's 4 steps, and it's got details. And it says it used the permit from you on there. It says you had 45 years of experience doing septics, approximately 900 of them. And then if he's awarded the job, keepers have the insurance, copy of his insurance from keepers.
And who pays the difference if it can't be funded? I mean, if it goes over.
That's the thing, you have to hold them to the bid, right? Hold them to the quote.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the town would be responsible for the difference.
Yep.
I understand that.
And you'd be doing the oversight.
If it was over, and we thought that state get a, change
An addendum or,
change order.
yeah. If he's been over and looked at the job and he knows what it's, and they both looked at the,
Can we use the footprint that's already there?
No,
They're gonna do a whole altogether different.
because I mean, we have nothing here, what kind of, you know, what they're bidding on as far as the plan or anything, so. I'm gonna say they're both reputable, and I would say they would both put a quality sewer system in. And I know both of them very well, and I know they would do equal work. And if he can order that for, $5,500 less, I think that'd be money well spent.
the decision.
Somebody say something.
Well, they're gonna follow the code anyway, so.
Yeah.
You have to follow the design.
Right.
That's part of the code.
Does that design also include soil samples as well?
It gives you what type of soils need to be used. Yeah.
Obviously, the time spent in compacting and putting the line in, I had a septic system put in by one of those 2 contractors, and I actually ended up having a dip in the pipe that I ended up correcting myself because of the material that was underneath of it and what was used. So just something to think about.
Have you seen the Gravity fed.
And the designer, Sarah, she wants to be president and install it.
Well, that's a good feature.
Yeah, that clear.
Do they have to warranty that? Do they have to
That's
warranty
what I was
that?
wondering. How long were their warranty good for? A year? Yeah. Yeah. If they have trouble with it within a year, they come good for it, that type of thing. And I'm sure they must both have a liability.
Absolutely.
All right, we have a motion on the floor here. I don't think I can second it myself.
Then the motion dies.
Motion dies.
Simple as that.
So, make another motion, or? I'll make a motion to accept Nick St. Peter's price.
I'll second it.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Opposed?
Opposed?
Since I'm up here,
Yep.
I've got a couple of other things.
Okay.
Just a piece of property on it.
Oh, yes.
And, there was a complaint concerning this property.
Yep.
Bobby Road, is that?
Yeah,
Oh, that's the one.
344 hours. I wouldn't buy it.
Mr. Hussey's going to discuss a complaint on 344 Fowler Road.
And
Okay.
as you can see, the house is about the code. Anecdotal evidence says there's no electricity. The trailer side is providing electricity by extension cord. And as you can see, half of it is tar. And I don't believe there's any septic system in there.
What was there anything on that property before? Are you aware of, like a mobile home or
I think
anything?
it was in
That looks like a cabana off a trailer,
there.
like an entryway. Is that a camper behind it there? Or,
No, it looks like it was,
something's just framed up or tarp? Almost looks like a aluminum metal siding or something on it. It's like a camper, but. So anyway, you said there's no electricity going there? No septic. You said they're running the electrical off of the neighbor?
and so I think we should treat that as a gateway system.
Now, I wouldn't disagree with that, but how would you handle the campers that are plugged in with extension cords and houses that are set up with no septic systems and tarps over them? Because until Woodland has a policy that's equal to everybody, I'd be willing to hire whoever's working in that shack, a lawyer. Okay? Because we've got to do things equally, and we've got to do things fairly. And there's been a lot of complaints about a lot of different places in this town that have not been brought to the table or have not been addressed. I don't have any answers as to why that is, but if you're going to condemn this one, there's a list.
Right now, this complaint has been brought to us, the others haven't.
I just brought the others to your attention.
I remember hearing about the other ones.
You should have heard of it.
Nobody's gone into nobody's made an official complaint in the town office. We've received it on this, we haven't received it on anything else.
So is there kids involved here? Is there kids living here? Does anybody know?
I don't believe there are kids there.
No.
Is it appropriate to read that letter that you got? Oh, that's a different problem. Oh.
I agree 100% that if we have to be fair.
Well, if
The
you
other
agree,
ones,
if you agree, then do
yes.
something about it.
Yes.
Don't agree and then do nothing.
Yes.
That's your job. If you see
So
something
here's the
wrong,
deal,
you're
we
supposed
have
to
to have
fix
a
it.
complaint come in. But we haven't had the complaint, we're hearing about.
Oh, I've heard lots of complaints over time. They get ignored.
You have to make the complaint.
There
that the
was a
town
time
wants.
on this board, before Kathy Willett and before Matt Cole, people did come to the office and they did complain. Nothing has been done. Woodland wasn't just born a few months ago. We have a history. We have to pay attention to how we handle things.
But the town doesn't have an ordinance, right?
For multiple trailers.
Trailers. Yeah.
No, I have had complaints.
Yes,
Yeah.
plenty.
In writing,
Pardon?
in writing,
No.
that is what is on the table. A complaint in
Right.
writing, which the town is following its own town standards. So I think this is what you're focusing on.
Wouldn't it be smarter to come up with a policy that covers us?
It probably would.
Okay.
In writing on the
Right
table?
now, this is what you have completely wrong. I just think that this person took additional steps. to-
Again, it is hard to take things away from people that only have what you're taking. So unless you have a policy or a practice in place to help people out, it's too bad to take their wheelbarrow, mid-trip to the garden, right?
I'm not gonna.
Well, if it's an unsafe living,
Well, I'm not arguing, but I mean, you've made a life's career in social work and services. We gotta look out for these people, not just look out for the people looking at the people.
I think what you're looking at right now is a protocol document.
There's 3 campers in Colby that shouldn't be where they are. There's one with a tarp over a house with an extension cord to it. But those are complaints that have been brought to our attention.
So
And we've done nothing about it.
Enforcement officer, when you get a verbal complaint, you ask them to put it in writing.
No, I investigated.
Then I would highly recommend you put it in writing.
Kevin, you got a question?
If a dwelling is being lived in, aren't there like state plumbing codes that have to be met for somebody to be living in a dwelling, and electrical codes for safety purposes? And what happens if that dwelling is in violation of those codes? Who enforces that, and what's the next course of action?
Well, the course of action that I'm recommending is to find the dwelling dangerous or a nuisance and to have it removed.
So the state plumbing code doesn't play a role in any of this?
Of course.
Well, that's what I'm asking. If somebody is living in a dwelling, whether it be a camper, tar paper shack, $1 million home, if it's in violation of state plumbing codes, who enforces that, and what are the steps that are required in order to bring that property up to code? And what happens if they don't, if they refuse to? Can they be forced to leave it?
Yeah.
And can it be condemned?
Right.
Okay, well, I feel like we're missing a step here. And if something is in our community is in violation of a state plumbing code, then maybe that's what we should be enforcing.
There's a whole bunch of people in Caribou that live in the garage. Nobody in Caribou don't live in
They burn garbage.
I can't answer for other communities, but it just seems that if somebody in our community is in violation of a state code, that is necessary for somebody to inhabit a dwelling, and there has to be some enforcement.
What about vacant buildings whose neighbors' children play in? No plumbing, no heating.
I'm talking about somebody living in a dwelling.
It's just.
Living and playing are two different things.
So, Commissioner,
That is a safety issue. Or can
so when you look at a piece of property, you're gonna say, hey, it's need to be contaminated, torn down, or removed. If there's people living there, they have to have power or electricity. They have to have sewage system, sanitation, water. So there's 3 or 4 things that a person needs to live. If they're missing one of them, we'll just say water. Is that enough claim to remove it, or, and this doesn't look like there's much here, I'm looking at it, but I'm just saying, is there a, I'll just say a camper. If a guy's living in a camper and he's got it hooked up to a sewer system, or he's got a well there and he's got water tapped into it, and he freezes his butt off all winter sitting in a camper, versus somebody who's missing a sewer system or electricity or, running water. I mean, is this strong enough that, hey, this is a life hazard for this person living here?
Well, certainly. But you can just look at the picture and tell it's not constructed to the main uniform building code.
No.
Okay, so that's what I'm going with, right?
Mr. Hussey,
Yes.
how do you get notified about this? Do you get notified by a complaint that comes through our town office, or do you take a phone call? How do you get notified for this? How does it all start as code enforcement?
Neighbor, yes. Yeah. But this isn't the first property that we've had an issue with. There was one on Brown Road.
Yep.
That there was a little shed there. Remember that? And he wasn't allowed to live there.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
So, what is the select board being asked to do tonight?
Give me permission
For what?
to have a hearing, determine whether it's a dangerous building or not.
So have these folks have or will be given notice of whatever deficiencies under the law you feel?
Oh, yeah, they'll get notice. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and they'll have an opportunity for a hearing?
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's the whole. I'll bring it back.
Okay. I'll take a pause there for a second, Phil.
I just have a question about if there's going to be a hearing. Did Mr. Hussey go into the building to investigate what plumbing they have, or?
You know as much about it?
Yeah, we'll have to find out.
So it's just an exterior building?
Yeah, I don't know. He may have gone.
Just because there are ways, I mean, they could have found those things early, never found it.
Go ahead, Ted.
We have different codes in this town for planning board. Is there an acre? Is there an acre involved in that law? Is it 150 feet from one line to the other line across the property? And is it just the building, not the camping? If it's just the building, we have codes on that already. And if it's a building, it has to have plumbing, electricity, and so.
Why do you have to have electricity?
You don't have
Like, I know why you like electricity. I just want to know why somebody has that. You have to have a septic, something.
You have to
Like
have
a,
septic.
even if it's an outhouse with a roof.
You can have an outhouse by state code.
Right, I know that they don't. I'm just saying, you don't need electricity.
You don't, if you have a solar system,
You don't need running water.
that's going to take care of your electricity.
Be honest.
But we do have a code of 150 feet and on an acre.
Yeah.
That's the code in this town. So,
There was a building there, and it was torn down, it was taxed for years,
was there a building there?
there was. And sometimes in these situations, when a building is torn down, if one wall exists, they can build 3 more onto it.
If they have, yes, one wall.
So there's all kinds of ways in and out of these problems. One size doesn't fit all.
But you're gonna have a hearing anyway.
Right.
And he's gonna describe,
Go look it over.
describe what's wrong, what penalty is there, yeah. But we do have a code. If there's an existing wall, you're right. They have to build on that existing wall.
Looks like there's existing, looks like it's gonna
There
be.
was an existing something, what it was, I have no idea. I just want to make sure we're not penalizing people for being over.
That's right.
We do have, on the Kobe side, there is those campers there, but there's electricity, there's sewer, there's water. It's in a camper, so if you just hold it, but that's the main thing there. It's got to have the sewer. So, you go in here, just go ahead and say.
Can't be multiple buildings in one sewer.
It depends on the bathroom. In the bedrooms, not bathrooms, bedrooms. So,
But if people lives off the grid, they don't need none of that. They need an outhouse,
you can have it now,
yeah. So,
but it's gotta be state approved. It has to be designed, yes.
So you're saying, you're asking us that you'd like to have a hearing to look into this and make sure it's safe.
Can I ask another question? So have these people received a written notice?
They will.
Okay, if I could finish my question. They're going to receive a written notice notifying of in what manner they're non-compliant with whatever code you're relying on or whatever rules or regulations, correct?
Yes.
Are they going to be given an opportunity to rectify or bring themselves into compliance?
It's up to the decision makers, the board. They can find it to be dangerous and or a nuisance, but give them so many days to bring it into compliance.
And so how many days are you asking to be?
It's up to the town. They'll usually follow what the homeowner says. You know, I can do it in 90 days. And the town will no doubt give him the 90 days because they really don't in the business of tearing down buildings. And that's been the case every one of these I've done. When the homeowner shows up, they ask for time to bring it into compliance, and the town always grants.
So at this point, they have not been given written notice by you as the code enforcement officer that they're out of compliance?
So, pardon?
As of this date, they have not been given a written notice by you as the town code enforcement officer that they're out of compliance, and in what way they're out of compliance?
No.
Have you been on the site to take a look? Yeah.
I've been by it.
Been by it.
Yeah.
So you need to go in and take a look, is what you're saying, see what's going on.
Once he's served, then
Well, we need a motion.
So, Mr. Hussey, what you need is a motion from the board to allow you to proceed
yes.
with,
And that's all you're granting, right? And you may not find it to be dangerous or whatever, so you're the decision maker.
You're going to collect the information, bring it back to us.
Yeah, that's the evidence all.
Is that where the sewer, new sewer is going to go?
No.
okay, so I don't know for sure how, I'm not sure how to form the motion. We need a motion to allow you to proceed with, for a hearing. Okay. I'll make a motion to allow Mr. Hussey to proceed with the hearing on, I can't remember this is Fowler Road?
That's 344.
344 Fowler Road.
No, 340, excuse me, 340.
340 Fowler Road.
Can I ask another question? Is there a way to identify what rule or regulation this is being done by?
It's Title 17, I forget the section.
So it's a state statute?
Pardon?
It's a state statute?
Yeah, it's state.
Okay, we need a second. I will second the motion. All in favor, any discussion?
None here.
All in favor?
I had another complaint at the same time at 342. And I talked to their neighbor today.
So these two properties are side by side on the
Side
same
by-
road?
Yes,
Complaint from the same neighbor or different people?
same.
Same neighbor?
Yeah.
Oh, starting to smell fishy now.
Well,
Little bit.
So what's the complaint with this one?
I got the complaint concerning garbage out in front of the place, right? And you can see,
The people that live in this house are in their 80s. They probably could use a hand picking that up. I
Well-
should probably go over and ask them.
well, I'll finish the story.
Sorry.
So, anyway, the person there called me, and so I made an appointment to come and see him. And then I talked also to his cousin, I believe, or nephew, the owner, David Russo. Father-daughter.
I know all those folks, but I don't want to be talking about them.
Oh, okay, so anyway, I met with them. And the other one was Basil, I can't remember his last name, but he's a relative. And so he wants to buy the trailer. And he's been over there cleaning it up. And so I wrote another letter last week telling him that they're going to have to get rid of all that junk, the junk vehicles and all that, to assist Basil in getting his, I believe it's his uncle. I think it's his uncle, to clean it up. Basil's gone to an attorney because the property is part of an estate and no one has any money, right? So there's no personal representative appointed. So he's going to do that and buy the property and clean it up. So that's that. So I guess we just wait another 30 days or so, see what happens.
And you sent them a notice that said, hey, time to clean up the garbage.
Yeah.
And he, the guy has since back.
No. The guy that lives there now, his father died. Yeah. And so the property is owned by
This is
heirs.
on the right of that property.
What's that?
This one's on the right, not on the left.
Well, going east, they're both on the left.
But which one's first?
Going south. This is 342, so it's after.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll just bring you up to date on that, and we'll just follow that and see what happens. Okay? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, Bruce.
You're welcome.
Okay, back to Article 7. The windshields. Any information about the windshield? So, yeah. I'm going to make a motion to see if... Is Kevin Thibodeau here tonight? Kevin Thibodeau's here. We need to ask, Kevin is not a citizen from the town. Will the town let Kevin Thibodeau speak tonight make a motion, he can speak.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. So I know the last meeting here, we talked about the windshield, and I thought that was brought to my attention back a couple months ago, that the bill was like $500 and we had paid it.
That's what you said, it had been paid.
Hadn't been paid.
And I asked for copies of that, and didn't receive it.
Yep, so the bill hasn't been paid.
You didn't receive copies?
You didn't receive everything I sent to you.
I received everything you sent to me, but there was an estimate, not a copy of the warrant that should have been signed to pay the bill.
There wasn't one. The bill was never paid.
Exactly, I never saw the warrant
Yeah.
to prove the bill was paid.
This
You
was.
guys are on tape telling the town it was paid. Yes.
Yeah, we thought it was paid.
Okay.
So looking into that, the next day, we found out the bill was not paid. Hadn't been paid. So here we are today. I guess we heard Paul discuss what had taken place the last meeting, and of course, that's all we had was, we heard what you had to say. So Kevin, I guess you can explain. Okay, hold it. Let's talk about the insurance first. Go ahead, Kevin.
Went to the town's insurance, and we have a $1,000 deductible. So the fee for this windshield would be paid by the town.
Okay. So the deductible is more than the windshield, is what you're saying.
Yeah, who's proving the point? What's the evidence? How do we know that happened on the Thibodeau Road?
Well, it's in speed.
Yeah. Could have happened in Mars Road.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
The deductible, is that claims that we would make for our own equipment? It applies to other people's claims?
Deductibles don't apply to liability.
Maybe you can explain it now. So you've already seen it?
I saw it.
Yes or no?
Yes, I saw it.
That's all I need.
I'm not sure if I saw the exact photo.
I was gonna share
I saw
it.
a photo where you had driven off the road. And I brought that to Paul, when I talked to Paul about it, that, hey, Kevin said he had to drive off the road to avoid the sander, and that's what I said last week.
You got it?
Yeah. Did you send Tom a photo of it last week?
No, I did not. I didn't get anything sent from the town office.
Okay.
She's too busy.
Okay, would you like to
You got
explain this photo?
a packet with all this in it.
No, I don't have pictures. I always get a select.
I brought a second copy, so if anybody wants to see it, you're welcome to it. I'll explain the pictures, and then if you want to pass it on, you can look at yourselves. When I met the plow truck, the sander came on. There was no need for the road to be sanded that day to begin with. I pretty much, I went as far to the ditch as I could, but there's a pole there, and I did not want to get sucked in. I didn't want to get changed in the pole when I picked up. The second photo, if you look closely at it, there's rocks on top. The photo's a little bit blurry, but I can show you on my phone if anybody wants to see it. It was the sun was shining somewhat that day. The rocks that are laying on top of the snow are dark, dark color. If they were there for any period of time with the sun on them, they're going to go to the bottom, but they're on the top. That's because the dirt came out that far from the side of the truck, then it started going all the way across the road, then it got dark, and that's when I met him. So I called Kathy right off, let Kathy know what had happened. I wasn't really impressed. I called Chris Forner up and asked Chris his opinion. I've driven plow trucks before. When you meet a vehicle, they shut the sander off. You don't turn it on when you meet a vehicle. Chris, maybe Chris could enlighten everybody here that hasn't run a sander what those mean. They coming up 2 feet, going all the way across the road, and then getting dark. There's reasons behind that. So if you know a sander, how they work, that can be explained. I won't do it. I'll ask somebody who's a professional. If you wouldn't mind doing it,
Well,
Chris.
I give the road commissioners the professional.
What's that?
I think the road commissioner is the professional. He's the one that decides when the sander comes on and off, not you.
Go ahead and pass it down, Joe. You got it. We'll let everybody decide.
And our insurance, for liability, we don't have a deductible.
There's two colors.
Well, all I have right here, I'm not an insurance agent, all I have is what they sent me. Comprehensive deductible is $250, and our collision deductible is $1,000.
Right.
That's what they told me.
But it would be comprehensive, but there's not typically a deductible when you pay out liability. But I also believe that there is a state statute stating there is no liability to an emergency vehicle, and that includes plow vehicles.
Well, I don't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know that. I'm not sure
We
you
have to
do.
make sure that there was something wrong done before. I mean, when I park at, we contract with a company in Prescott to plow and stay in the driveway. And I can tell you what, our sanders from Dayton properties do not shut off. And then we switch to a different one, and they don't shut off, they just have our cars.
So,
I mean, I got everyone staying on the road.
I guess the issue is, the sander was on when it was, like I asked, when I talked to Paul about it, and the sander was on when the vehicle was passing, and it come out, struck the guy's windshield and broke the windshield.
Right.
That's
Well,
what,
I would ask
that's what the
insurance
facts were brought to us, and I asked Paul about it, and I wasn't threatening Paul to write him up over. I said, hey, we're gonna have to answer to this at some point, just like we had to answer to the lady who had her mud flap tore off,
Right.
and they paid it.
But that,
You know, I mean, the lady drove through the ditch because the truck was parked there and it ripped the mud flap off. So Paul didn't come over and tear the mud flap off the car. It happened because in motion, same thing, that's why when that got brought to us, I said, it sounds like the town had already set a precedent paying the first citizen of the town's broken vehicle by something caused by a town road personnel. It's the same issue with, I didn't set the precedent, you know, that wasn't, but I brought it up to Paul and asked his side of the story, and he said, yes, he admitted that the sander was on, and that's what had taken place, and that's the facts that we had. So now, we had heard the facts, and everybody last meeting didn't know the facts. Now we all know what the facts are.
can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
First of all, the idea that one claim sets a precedent for all claims going forward has no basis.
Well, how is it fair to one and not for the other?
well,
I'm not gonna, second, I'm still hearing that no effort has been made to put this claim in front of the town's insurance carrier. Let them decide whether they're going to cover it or not. Let them decide whether they're going to apply a deductible to a liability claim, which would be unusual. So, third, somebody has mentioned whether there is state law that governs this. So I don't think this is in any way, shape, or form right for any sort of decision by the select board. First, the claim should be made to the town's insurance carrier. If they pay it, they pay it, and this is a dead issue. But the idea that because we paid a $134 claim last year, everybody that files a claim against the town automatically gets claimed is ridiculous.
Well, I don't think that when they fixed the mud flap, they turned it into the insurance company.
I've stated my
But they paid
position, you've stated your position multiple
It's
times.
apples and oranges.
That's right.
To be frankly honest with you, because the town had a piece of equipment at the end of her driveway, which made us liable for the mud flap. Are you gonna ask every person that sands to turn the sander off when oncoming traffic is coming on the road? Is that what you're gonna do? Because you have to.
A truck traveling 35 miles an hour
Hold on. Ethan, go
goes
ahead.
50 feet in a second.
So, just looking at the whole picture here, obviously, we've got a person who may want to take responsibility, doesn't want to take responsibility, vice versa. We've got two parties involved split this between the town and the citizens and try to resolve it that way? Mr. Bidwell, would you be willing to settle for $250?
I'll settle for half the value of it, I guess.
I'll make up the other half to you later on.
But he's not a citizen, he's not a citizen of the village.
So, in the sense of taking responsibility, I'm saying, if we split the cost rather than being $500 and we give them $250, we end the conversation, we end going through an insurance company, we end going to the deductible. All that labor is taking more and more time from us than a windshield. It's $500. People do make mistakes. So if Mr. Bidwell can recognize that it could have happened to him, whether it's been intentional or unintentional, and Mr. Pelletier can recognize and say that, well, rather than running these cases down the road, we all learn something from it. I'm going to shut the standard off, problem solved. Done.
Or we could just give it to our insurance company, because that's why we have insurance, and let them determine, and then maybe they'll pay this man his full bill. Nobody's disputing anything as far as the windshield's broke. I don't know if it got broke in Woodland or Mars Hill, but I'll let the insurance company that we pay figure it out. I'm not gonna worry about everybody's feelings, because business is business. We're in the business of plowing roads to keep people on time to work, to get their loved ones to the hospital, and we shouldn't be censoring their job to worry about other people's feelings. So he's on the road, the sand's going on the road, the windshield got broke, worst case scenario, the insurance company pays the bill. It's that simple. I don't know why we're making it complicated. This isn't an auction or a mediation.
John, let me ask you a question. Have you looked at the pictures?
I did. I don't see a bit of sunshine, neither one.
Do you see a hot top?
I do see some hot top.
Yeah, quite a bit of it.
What's your point?
What's my point?
Yeah.
Why was the sand being thrown just?
Oftentimes when these guys have a storm coming, an imminent storm, it's going to be ice, they go out before the storm and they pre-condition the roads. That's what they do. That's what Mr. Fournier did. That's what Steve Dumas did. That's what all people do. They go out and they pre-treat roads. That means it looks absurd to the average person saying,
Well,
oh
not
my
the
God,
average
why-
person, I'll have you know.
I'm not even
I've
calling
run plow
anything.
trucks for years.
I've had other people complain, I wonder why they're outstanding roads before in the last 15 years. I'm giving you an answer. That's all I'm doing. I don't know you, I'm just giving you an answer, and we're gonna keep that.
Okay.
Okay, Beth, you got a question? You've been standing there for quite a while.
It was just a statement, everybody's complaining about the mud flat. My mud flat, it was my mud flat. But if the truck was parked on my private property, it was not driving down the road or anything, it was on my private property with nobody in sight or around for over a half an hour to move the vehicle when I needed to get out. So I had to get out all of that day. That's why my mud flat broke. If it was not, if I did not know how it broke, I would have either just fixed it myself or gone through my insurance company itself. Would have brought up my insurance, but for $160 or $134, whatever it finally came to, then that was that. But I just felt that it was I filed a complaint with the town for the mud flat because I could not understand why, when there were other places they could have parked the truck, they had to block my road. To park it in my property, private property versus a main road. Not to take away from your windshield or anything, because that depends on that too. But if I were you, I would file with my insurance. The town would do the same thing. But just, I wish everybody would stop talking about mud flat like there was something.
Okay, I'm gonna put this to bed. We're gonna call the insurance company, send it to the insurance company. Okay. All right. Margison Road plowing. I don't know what that is. Anybody know what Margison Road plowing is? Okay.
Who put it on the agenda?
Is there somebody supposed to be here?
Yeah, a representative from the Margison Road supposed to be.
Oh, anybody from Margison Road? Yes?
But I didn't.
No, it
Oh.
was someone else.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know what it pertains to?
Margison Road plowing. Paul, have you had Marcus Road plowing issues? You go off the road or something? I don't know. Okay. Oh, somebody talk to you?
Yeah, I'm going to, we weren't on the Marcus Road quick enough.
Oh, okay. She's not here tonight, she or he, somebody to talk about it. So, all right. Okay. The next thing we get on there is the sovereign market. That Alexandra Lord. Hi there.
I don't want to be rude by turning my back, but I'm just going to try to address everybody here. I'm a teacher here at Woodland, and I'm just a little interested in bringing our town as a food sovereign town. Our neighboring towns, it was brought to my attention that New Sweden, Stockholm, and Westmoreland have a town ordinance of being a food sovereign town, which means they can produce their own food, market their own food without as many regulations as if you actually go to a farmer's market in Prescott, for example. And you'll probably see these around soon. I think there's one at North Star Variety where you can take a look, and you can find information on Stockholm Sovereign Market at gmail.com. They're looking for vendors. But the whole thing that was brought to my attention was that we don't have this ordinance in place, and it has a lot of benefits for our community. And I'll just read a few bullets because I know this has been a long meeting, so I don't want to be too long. Plus, I want to get a little bit of better mood going on here. Okay. The first thing is for producers of, like, say, eggs, for example. The state licensing inspection are a hassle to the small-scale food producer, and they discourage people from producing food on their own. A lot of people can't handle the licensing or the processing facilities and inspections, etc. if you're producing meat. And this market, you'll be able to join a farm share for $5, and you can get meat, for example. You can get raw milk if you're interested in that. And so we also have, we don't have a USDA butcher in the county, which also makes a difference for meat farmers. And I know Tom could address this too, but that is a hassle for people who want to do this. So it's very important to come up, even though our state is a food sovereign state, and this was put in place, I think, don't quote me, but I think it was 2019. It's important for our town of Woodland to do it. And I think this does require a public vote. So I'm just trying to get some information out there so you can research it yourselves and look up this market. You can also join, or you can be a vendor. But I'm also most concerned, besides just the sovereign market, that people are able to get quality food, and these ordinances allow people to sell from their farm stand, and they make a community stronger, more resilient. And also our food grown locally is fresher, obviously, healthier, and keeps our money here in our town. So I think that's something that we should think about. So it also makes healthier lifestyle choices for families, makes healthy food more accessible to everyone in our town. A lot of people can't get to, for example, the farmer's market in Prescott, but they might be able to get to Stockholm. And if we get this ordinance in place, people that produce food in Woodland can be vendors there. So I know that I did give you a lot of information all at once, but please feel free to take one of these if you're interested at the end of this meeting, or you can come to me with questions. And I don't know how we handle this in probably another future meeting, take a public vote, so it's just something to think about.
Make sure that you request an article.
Okay, all right, I definitely will next
And
time.
make sure you don't waste any time doing that, so it's in the books.
All right, I'll do it quickly. All right, thank you very much, and if you have any questions, you can see me after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. The only other thing I have is Haney's Cleaning. We voted to hire him to clean the town office once a week, and he's been over to see us, and him coming in and doing his cleaning is kind of an interference for the town office during the operations of the daily operations of it. So Nate had requested requested coming in after hours and cleaning the inside. So we just talked to him a couple of minutes here about who else he cleans for. He cleans for the 3 floors at the city of Presque Isle. He cleans for a couple of banks out at the Caribou, Machias Bank. And so he was requesting a key to get in and clean after hours. So he didn't clean the night that he stopped in because he couldn't do it at that point. And his schedule set that during the day he has certain places that have to be cleaned, and he does most of the town offices and banks after hours as well. So we need to discuss.
Is it history that we've had people come in after hours? We've had people come in and clean after hours, haven't we?
I think Allison Massey, I think they're coming in and cleaning. And I don't know if it's during the,
No,
we don't know if it's during the hours.
No, it was that night.
It's that night for
Yep.
Is he bonded?
I don't know if he'd be bonded, I'm sure he's insured.
Everything is locked. We have a vault that's locked, the file cabinets are all locked, the computers are locked. So we allow the steering committee, we allow Ted, your committee, to come in after hours. I don't see an issue allowing the cleaning company to come in and clean after hours in my opinion.
So he will need a key to get in, and a code for the door coming into town office.
Dave?
What night will you be coming in to clean?
It'd be a different night than, I assume, than interrupting your guys' meeting,
Yeah.
or the steering.
We'll coordinate
Yeah,
that, so that,
yeah,
Plus everything being filmed, right?
yes.
yeah. Yeah. But it's still for a good cleaning, I'll tell you that. So do we need a motion?
I'll make a motion to allow Nathan Heaney to have a key and code to the town office to access it for cleaning purposes only.
Okay, do we have a second? I'll second the motion. Any discussion? Discussion? All right, all in favor? One opposed? Motion sustained. Motion carries. We'll get Haney's a key and a code to get in to clean the town office. Now it's public comment, or public question and answer. Go ahead, Bill.
One thing, my hat's off to Bridget, because that fine work she's doing, mostly by herself, trying to get things caught up. Now, some people complain things aren't done on time, but are they over there helping her out? So, Bridget, good job.
How are you coming, getting help with the office?
We haven't had any applicants for, the paper that's going back out in tomorrow's paper for them 2 weeks. We haven't had any applicants at all, have we, Bridget? Oh, we did have one. He was from Connecticut, or he's what? Oh, he lives in Van Buren, but he's going to be away at the holidays for 40 days. He's going to be here around the holidays. So we kind of thought we needed somebody around for the holidays. Yes?
Do we advertise anywhere other than the paper, like Indeed or anything like that?
No, I'm not sure.
Or is there a way that we could, because a lot of people don't get the paper?
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Yes. Yeah. Yes, Lorraine.
Another good suggestion on the steering committee would be to post it on our website, the ad itself that you are normally posting in the paper. If that could happen, that would be, allow people to know what's happening.
Yep, on our website. Yep. Yep. Yes, Steve.
Is there anything as far as summer plans with doing shoulder work, ditching and that type of stuff? I mean, is there anything projected for work
On the October, which was 10/17/23 Selectmen's meeting, Paul and Tom both said that there would be they both reported there'd be a 5-year road plan available in the March meeting. It's been 6 months now. I'd like to know what the status is on that 5-year road plan.
Well, Kathy told Paul that a 5-year plan wasn't necessary, that it would be unrealistic, so it would be shortened. She told him that in front of Matt Cole, so you'll have to take that up with that.
So is there any road plan
Doesn't matter
been
what he
developed?
says.
Has there been any road plan developed?
I don't know that we can discuss anything that he's bringing up right now because it was
It's public.
executive session.
It was in an
Executive
executive
session
session.
was not public.
That never should have been discussed out of the view of the public.
It was discussed in executive session.
So, Ted, can you answer the question? Has there been any road plan at all come about yet?
I haven't been to the town office.
Yes, but it was tabled at the last budget meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been discussion. Yeah. No, but we haven't really had a road plan. We just talked about what the money was projected and where he was gonna start and proceed through the summer. But not really, I'm not gonna say it's a road plan at all. So, trouble with the 5-year road plan is stuff comes up, it changes, it's a fluid plan, and it's hard to commit, hey, we're doing this, 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 and this, and then something happened catastrophic in between that changes the plans, which, that's understandable. But we do need a projected future work that we're gonna be conducting through the year. And Paul is working on that. He's got the majority of what you want to do for the summer, Paul, right? Sort of listed out.
So you've got some other plans?
Yeah, but it's not 5-year. It's not a 5-year.
Baby steps.
Now, I would point out that the old plan, we were to the completion of it, getting close. So there are a few unfinished things that are really important to prolong the life of the 10-year payment on the bond loan, which would be correct as far as I believe where Ethan might be going with that. The shoulders of all the roads that have been hot topped need to be brought up. The shoulders need to be fixed. We haven't done that. There's money in the bond loan to finish that. So it would make sense to me that you would finish those projects before you start to promise another. So for example, first out of the gate, if you put the shoulders on the road to help maintain the longevity of the hot top, and then you go to ditching and getting the Langley Road ready, you might not get hot top this year, but it would be ready for the next year. But as soon as we rush it, we're going to have regret. That's the one thing. We've been criticized for having patience, but when you compare the roads we've hot topped in Woodland to the roads they've hot topped in other towns, they're already coming apart because there was no preparation underneath that surface. So I hope going forward those mistakes aren't made.
Go ahead, Ray.
I guess I'd just like to have a follow-up comment that gentleman. I think the follow-up was that in the selectmen's meeting, it was clear that a March deadline about having a 5-year plan was the goal. I think we can all hear that's not doable, that's not reasonable, that's not going to work. I think what people are asking for, at least what I'm asking for as a resident, is transparency about what the plan is. What are the baby steps?
Yeah.
What are the little things that need to be done, like preparing the roads, like you were talking about. So, Paul, if there was a way when you do the report to talk more about those baby steps that you're doing, that would be.
I can put that all in a plan. Like you need a salt shed, you need trucks, all that stuff is gonna weigh into your 5-year plan.
Okay.
Something's gonna happen, just like the fuel tanks and the other things, which will compromise your 5-year road plan.
Right. I'm just saying, we don't know all those good things that you do know, and what you are all talking about, and what your experience is. And so we're asking, can we have more details when you haven't?
You should demand more details, and you should expect no less, truthfully, no, you really should, because the road plan has no place in executive session. Executive session is reserved for very minute, narrow guidelines. You can't have the subject of diversity in executive session. Any discussion about a road plan, which is a public matter, should be discussed in front of the public. Why it was ever discussed in executive session, I have no idea. That is sneaky. You need to know what's going on, and it should be out on the table in front of you. Expect it and demand it.
Thank you for your feedback. That's not what I was asking. I was asking for some minor details as the board continues to have this discussion.
Sorry that I've offended you, Ray.
Paul,
No, I
can you
think
do us
it's
up a written, projected, prioritized list of what needs to be
I have it
done?
all written down, I'm just waiting on, nobody will give you a price on hot top right now.
No,
The rain, you know,
Even without the figures, can you give us like a work plan? Can you have it for next meeting?
We won't even have an approved budget until June. And I would bet we spent 1/6 of it already. So there would be nothing to argue about. There's no money to spend on roads until we've approved the budget.
Go ahead.
It's my understanding of the bond that we had received, there was some plans set forth on where that money was going to be applied, and that was talked about in previous meetings. And Mr. Drew, you just made a comment that stood out very deeply to me, because we talked about last fall, we had a project opened up on the Langley Road, and we were talking about how we were going to go and open up another road on the Fowler Road.
That was part of the plan. That was part of the plan.
Is there a piece of paper, is there something that states what that plan was to follow forth?
I think
We're
Mr.
talking
Fournier took all
about
that information with him when he left.
what's that?
I think Mr. Fournier took all the information with him when he left. But there might be something left there, I don't really know.
So you never obtained any copy of what this?
No, I don't have a copy.
It was going to be held accountable for in the sense of money going forward?
I'm a selectman, not a police officer.
Okay, so is there anything that states that on a piece of paper on what needed to be done?
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
All I know is we ought to finish one project before we move on to the next. I will say
It
that.
seems as though we're dealing with a substantial amount of money that we basically blew out the back door.
Well,
With some value there to be shown throughout the town.
You got $400,000 worth of hot top that didn't get blown out the back door.
When it comes to starting a project and finishing a project, that example wasn't led forth when we went and opened up Fowler Road last fall.
That was discussed at the meeting where everyone raised their hands and voted for the loan. 50-something people
We
showed
showed back
up.
to that, but none of it was ever discussed.
It was discussed.
The details were never discussed.
Yes, it was.
But we should have finished the shoulders before we moved on to something else. At least
We should have ditched the entire road.
Down the
Ditch
end of
first.
the road, the other end for nothing long. Not right. It don't make sense.
You handle your water. You handle your water on your road first. Paul will tell you that. You do your ditching first, then you work.
Everyone can always do it better after it's been done.
That's the rules.
But I remember, you two were in there in the audience and you raised your hands
I
in
was
favor
there.
of the plan.
Can't say I was there.
Well, I believe, I think you guys were there.
I was there. Okay. Oh, Mr. Fowler, go ahead.
Dana Fowler, Fowler Road. So last October, at the selectmen's meeting, it was discussed that you were going to, what I call reclaim the road. Basically, it's a big rototill, which was done. At that time I spoke, I said, I was basically born on that road. Lived there for probably 60 years. I'm on the east side. I told you, it's a gravel road. The wind is out of the west. We're going to be eating dust all summer. You reclaimed the road. So this is where we're at. The potholes are basically still there, maybe not as many, but the dust problem is severe. Okay? Yeah, I'm now in the club. When the snow was melting and you look out across the field, the dust is 200-300 feet off the road. My house is about 100 feet off the road. I'm going to be eating dust all summer. My wife and I walk. You try to walk on that road, your shoes are full of rocks.
Seriously, have to dump out the rocks. Thirdly, can't keep a car clean. It's either mud or dust. It really, I don't have a problem with reclaim, except you have to cap it, you have to pave it. And it needs, the road needs to be paved.
It all starts with a base. If you don't maintain what's there, it's not gonna last when you put pavement on it.
Well, there's supposed to be enough money left in that account to put the base on that road. That was part of the original plan, providing it hasn't been spent somewhere else. And I hope when we finally do get the hot top on the Fowler Road and on the Langley Road, that you do not allow your disgust of the process to ruin the fact that your road will be good. Because there are going to be pains, there are going to be people offended by progress. I hope we can rejoice someday in the setting sun.
It's definitely going to take some time, Mr. Fowler. We're going to have to work the issues out with the dust. I know Paul talked about the calcium prices double this year from last year. We've got that road, we got the Langley, that's dust. There's a lot of dusty, and all I can say is we're going to do our darndest here to contain this, what's in our means possible there. I think we kind of jumped the gun in a few areas, and we're going to have to work with you on that.
We want plan on paving this summer then.
Well, we've had a few discussions. Washburn's paving the Tabor Road, and they've got a lock-in price of $96 a ton for hot top. It's usually $125, and Donna had told us that they would honor that on the end of the Tabor Road where the Tabor Hills all tore up. That needed some work before that. You just can't pave over that. And the state, his name is Darryl Sponberg, who's the estimator for the state of Maine, DOT, came in and estimated from the town line, Woodland, Washburn town line, to the Carson Road, it would cost $25,000 to hot top that with Soderberg's pricing of $96 a ton. And that's 2 inches of hot top. So that's something we got to discuss. We're in the middle of going over the budget stuff right now and see where we're at. The only drawback from that is the town of Washburn's hot topping is going to be done complete by July 3rd. So that's, we're not even have our budget stuff in until June. Our audit stuff we're working on right now. So, that would be an area that, hey, if at all, be a great deal at $96. What did we pay last year, Paul, per ton on the Morris Road? Yeah. So the town of Washburn is doing a lot of hot top, and that's why Soderberg gave them that price of $96 a ton. And they had made the offer to Woodland. Paul got the email, forwarded it to us about continuing that, and we could look at the options for that. So, and I know we discussed, go ahead, Paul, what was the other areas we were talking about fixing up? I know the end of the Tabor Road,
Everett Road,
the Everett Road,
and the end of the Brown Road.
into the Brown Road.
51.
Yeah. So, yes.
Why all the jumping around though? You're at the Langley Road, you part of it, and then you go to another road, and now you jump to other roads?
Well,
What the hell is that going on?
we should start right on the Langley Road where we left off and go right to the end of it. That's what we should do. Yeah. But the trouble there is everything else is breaking down, falling apart all at the same time. So Paul's going to guide us through that. He's our foreman. We take his word of what needs to be done on there, and that's what we go by. That's what he was hired for.
So we've gone from talking about finishing a plan to two different things that are going to obstruct the plan from being finished. And that's how come a 5-year plan doesn't work. Because we were passionate about finishing the shoulders of the roads with hot top. We were passionate about putting hot top on the Langley Road. And now we've got a good deal offered for the Tabor Road. And what was the other one?
The end of the Everett Road.
Everett Road. So
Brown
those
Road.
weren't even in the language of the plan.
Those are small sections of the road.
Well, 25,000 will go a long way, making someone on the Fowler Road feel better about what we've done there. If you're gonna jump the gun and put hot top on the Tabor Road, who hasn't even been in the plan, and let them eat dust all summer, then you explain it. Don't ask me.
Nobody jumping any gun. This was just all presented to us to take in and absorb and talk to Paul and see where we're at with it.
Nobody's in the sense of using the back wagon and the drag box, I mean, is that an option coming down over the Tabor Hill and in those short section of areas where people don't have a tendency to grab it a whole lot? I mean, is that an option?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's an option to put a shim coat on it.
Yeah, we don't, I don't think we have a drag box, do we?
Yes, we do.
We do?
We have a paper.
We have a paver. We have a hot top paver. So,
But it's still like $7 a ton to put it down. So, and there's only 3 of us. So,
Where's the drag box that Joyce Noble gave the town?
I have no idea.
It's not here? Because Joyce Noble gave the town of Woodland a drag box. And what you're saying is it's disappeared?
Yeah, that was, I don't know anything about that part of it, but it was, that was before my time.
Well, someone ought to do some homework on that subject.
all I know is we get a drag box different from a hot top paper. I know we get a paper.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But that would be,
Just think about cost effectiveness.
Yeah.
In some cases, you can do it cheaper by doing it yourself, but if it's not gonna last,
Yeah.
a period of time, it's a waste of money too.
yeah. But it's tough with the manpower where by the time you go get it, it takes more than 3 to lay hot top in the catch, and we get a 3-man crew. I mean, like I said, it might be beneficial to hire a couple of drivers for a few weeks and prep some areas, maybe dig that out and hit the end of the Tabor Road, the end of wherever, scoop down part of the, finish the Langley Road, you know?
Well, we had a drag box that the town of Woodland put money in and painted. I don't know where it is, but we did use that for that purpose. And if we don't have it, I'd like to know where it is.
Certainly. Any more questions?
Briefly, the 2022 audit, is a copy available for public inspection at the town office? And if not, would it be possible to make one available at the counter?
Yeah, there's one at the town office.
But is it available where anybody could just go in and look at it?
Yep. Yep. We're not done the 23 one yet, but the 22 one's all done for you, yeah? Any other questions? Okay. Go ahead. I'll make a motion, we adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor?